is a gentleman that makes livestock development mouth-watering. Please, a round of applause for the gentleman. Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, Alhaji Idi Mukhtar. Thank you, sir. Opportunities are there. Let's go for it. Quickly, let's do some house cleaning here. Mrs. Nike Adejoke, Director, National Broadcast Academy, Lagos. Welcome. Mrs. Bimbo Oyetunde, Deputy National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists. You're welcome, Ma. Alhaji Sule, National President, Nigeria Israel Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, sir. Engineer Obadiah Nkom, Director General Mining Cadastral Office. Welcome, sir. Engineer, that's Director General NTA. Let me remind us that we are live on NTA network generally. That means all over the country, and not just NTA. That means whatever we're doing here, we're being seen live on the screens, and at the same time, listening to the FRCN is certainly a must for all of us that are already used to it. It's more like a habit now. So for those that are listening all over the country and beyond, the FRCN is on, not just on our network service, but we're also on the social media, all social media platforms. You want to check the live broadcast on and connect. Accordingly, when the real business of the day begins, you may wish to send in your questions accordingly. So one more time, remember to be a part of this program. Let's say also welcome to Mrs. Maria Ode, former Acting Director General, FRCN, Alhaji Mohammed Bello, former Director, Ibadan Zonal Station. This is a gentleman by the time you start reeling out what he has done for FRCN, you probably will spend the night here. So Alhaji Mohammed Bello, thank you very much for being a part of this gathering, sir. And Executive Secretary, Nigeria Press Council, Dili Ezuga. You are welcome, sir. Now, it's time for us to listen to our royal fathers. And to set the ball rolling is none other than the Emir of Zazzau, Malam Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, CFR, the 19th Fulani Emir of Zazzau, Chairman Kaduna State Council of Traditional Rulers, former Nigerian ambassador to the Kingdom of Thailand with concurrent accreditation to the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, former Commissioner Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission, SICAM, former Executive Director, Nigeria Security Printing and Minting, PLC, former Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Security Printing and Minting, PLC, alumnus of Ahmed Bello University, ABU Zaria, Oxford University, United Kingdom, Harvard University, United States of America, Senior Chevening Fellow, that's at University of York, UK, Chancellor, University of Jos, Chancellor, Capital City University, Kano, Chancellor, Greenfield University, Kaduna, Chancellor, Huda University, Gusau, among so many other portfolios he has held. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Nuhu Bamali, CFR.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, ably represented by Yariman Jama'a, and also Senior Special Assistant to the President in the Office of the Vice President, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, Honorable Ministers of Information, Livestock, Agriculture, the Director General of FRCN, NTA, and other related agencies, and my brother, the Emir of Wasi, and other very important dignitaries here, too numerous to mention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Let me also acknowledge the representative of the FCT minister and also representative of Kaduna State Governor. Um, when I walked in here, I was given the program of event, and it was that time that I realized that I have to say something here. I didn't know that I have to come up and speak. However, being able to list a few things, to say here, since we're discussing the oldest profession in the world, and that is agriculture, which I believe everybody in this hall must be familiar with one or two things about agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to address a topic that is both critical and urgent. That is food security in Nigeria. As we gather in this esteemed hall, we recognize that food security is not merely a matter of sustenance. It is the cornerstone of national stability, prosperity, and well-being of our people. It is in this regard that I'd like to say that agriculture and the position of food security cannot be overemphasized. Nigeria faces significant challenges in achieving food security with a rapid growing population and also urban expansion. There's also the issue of changes in policies, from time to time that militates against, the progress and growth of this sector of our economy. In this context, I propose a multifaceted approach to move us forward. That is through innovation, which the Minister of Agriculture has mentioned, and also technology. We must harness the power of technology and innovation to improve agricultural productivity, investments in research and development, and modern farming techniques and precision agriculture can increase by yield, enhance food production, and by embracing technology, we empower our farmers with tools to overcome challenges and adapt to changing conditions. We also have policy support and infrastructure. If we have effective policies and strategies in investments in infrastructure and crucial to enable efficient distribution and reduce post-harvest losses. We must develop robust supply chains, enhance transportation networks, and modernize storages facilities. And then by improving infrastructure, we connect farmers to markets, minimize waste, and also ensure food researches every corner of Nigeria. And then the issue of empowering the women is very, very effective, because if the women who have almost the majority number in Nigeria, certainly if they can handle the little agricultural aspect, Nigeria would be a different place altogether. Then the issue of climate sustainability, climate resilience and sustainable practices. Climate changes poses an ongoing threat to our food system. We must adopt sustainable farming practice, enhance climate resilience, and protect our natural resources, encouraging agroforestry, crop diversification, and water management will safeguard our environment and ensure future food security. And number 5, collaborative partnerships. Food security is a shared responsibility. Collaboration between government, private sector, academia, and civil society is essential by fostering partnerships, sharing knowledge, and pooling resources, we create a united front capable of addressing challenges and thriving process. Then finally, nutrition and awareness programs. Ensuring food security goes beyond availability. It involves access to diverse and nutritious food, education and awareness programs on balanced diets can improve nutrition and health outcomes, particularly among vulnerable populations such as children and elderly, leading to a healthier, more productive society. And finally, in conclusion, the way forward for food security in Nigeria requires a unified and determined effort. Let us commit to these priorities with the resolve to transform challenges into opportunities, adversity into advancement. Together we can embark on a journey that guarantees not only food security, but also a brighter, sustainable future in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a word or two before this very important gathering. Assalamu alaikum.
Another round of applause for His Royal Highness, the Mayor of Zauzau, Alhaji Nuhu Bamali. Thank you very much, sir, for that insightful speech. And of course, as he said, food security or ensuring food security in Nigeria is a shared responsibility, which means that both the government and the governed have a responsibility in achieving and ensuring food security in Nigeria. Before we move on to the next item, I would like to representatives member, that's from Nasarawa. We have Honorable Victor Ninjia, former member, House of Representatives, Kaduna, Alhaji S.I. Sule, National President, Nigerian Israeli Chamber of Commerce, Honorable Logun Wasiu, former member, House of Representatives, is also here with us. Thank you all for being a part of this event. We have the spokesperson of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, that's Mr. Wajoren. Thank you. He's representing the chairman of the commission, Mr. Olaolu Koede. Thank you all for being here. We're going to take the next speech from another royal father, and that is Oba Rilwan Oshoolale Akeolu. Is the Oba of Lagos State, a visionary and vibrant monarch who is committed to the growth of Lagos State. He is also revered for his commitment to preserving the state's cultural heritage and history. I must also say that the Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Oshoolale Akeolu, is also a very reliable partner in progress in achieving the core mandate of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, that is uplifting the people and uniting the nation. We have his recorded speech, which will be played right now by the media. The media, could you please project the voice of the Oba of Lagos State? Thank you.
Which is not supposed to be so. I was able to reduce to the BRS minimum, small bill, when I was Commissioner of Police in Kebbi State. What is very, very important is sincerity and honesty of purpose and love for each other. With due respect to our highly respected former president of the country, President Obasanjo. He has said it long time ago. Our land in this country, they are very fertile. But the security, people have to be provided with the amenities to do their work so that the farmers can be present at all times. And the reason is, majority of Nigerians don't want to pay tax. And there are some few bad eggs in the system. My mother died when I was under 9, my father when I was under 11. But dint of hard work, you see where I am now. Little with this our present president. And that's why he has a very high regard for me. And the trend is changing now because to tackle our progress in Nigeria is very simple. And with God bless him. One, absolute honesty and sincerity of purpose. Provision of necessary equipment for the farmers, provision of adequacy of security equipment for the security forces to ensure conducive atmosphere for the farmers to plant and harvest their seeds. All will be well. Some area in Benue, we describe it as a food basket of the nation. If there are enough security for the farmers, we have plenty. When we are growing up, there's one open space here, we call it Ojuro. You see how they be offloading yams there at that time. But now, things have changed. Majority of our policemen, I pity them. They have no uniform, even fuel to move around. My appeal is just to all Nigerians. They should just have some patience and cooperate with this present administration in federal and states. All will be well and we all laugh last time. That is the most important thing. We have no problem in Nigeria and I say it every day. There is nobody I cannot speak what I feel to be the truth. I have no reservoir of knowledge. And at the end, they will agree. But most people in this country today, they want this seat. What cannot do, you tell them, they will be happy. My life is not like that at all. Honesty, devotion, dedication, and love for each other always well with us. The problem was greed, which is not supposed to be so. PRS minimum, smuggling, when I was commissioner of police in Kebbi State. What is very, very important is sincerity and honesty of purpose and love for each other. With due respect to our highly respected former president of this country, President Obasanjo. He has said it long time ago. Our land in this country, they are very fertile. But the security people have to be provided with the amenities to do their work so that the farmers can be present at all times. And the reason is, majority of Nigerians don't want to pay tax. And there are some few bad eggs in the system. My mother died when I was under 9. My father when I was under 11. But dint of hard work, you see where I am now. Little with this our present president. And that's why he has a very high regard for me.
Okay, thank you very much. Looks like the tape's gone back to repeat it. Yeah, thanks, Sort. That means a lot of people are following what's going on. Please, thank you very much. At least for him to have recorded his message, it's quite, he went an extra mile. Thank you. A round of applause, and I'm sure he's listening now. Now that's one royal father that has been a partner in progress for us. Dependable, reliable, honestly. Whenever we catch cold, we rush to him. And he's done it without even a mention. Honestly, Oba of Lagos deserves another round of applause. Please, let's do that for him. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Next is another royal father who is also a brother, a parent, a friend, a dependable ally too. Is none other than His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Sambo Haruna II, the Emir of Wase, Plateau State, all the way from Plateau State. Please, a round of applause for the gentleman. We have a collection of this kind of people that are quite valuable to our tradition as a nation. So it's we're lucky to have them here.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, Your Excellencies, the honorable ministers who are here present, honorable members of the National Assembly, my elder brother and leader, the Emir of Zazzau, Allah ya ja kwanan sarki ya sa mai martaba ya gama lafiya. The Director Generals here present, management of FRCN, I'm highly delighted to be with you all for this year's FRCN lecture and awards ceremony. The FRCN is the major organization uniting Nigeria with a very large network. Professionalism is never in doubt when it comes to FRCN. Our country is undergoing massive restructuring with the agenda of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As an advocate of peace, I wish to reiterate the importance of peaceful coexistence. Without peace, there will be no development. As a farmer, I wish to commend the FRCN for the excellent choice of topic, food security in Nigeria, which way forward, to be delivered by my friend and brother, Professor Abba Gambo. I wish to congratulate all the awardees, and I wish you a successful deliberations. Thank you, and God bless you all. Unfortunately, the Honorable Minister for Livestock has left, but I'm sure he has left a representative here. And my message to him is he should not worry. All the Kanuris and all the other tribes who are here present, Nigerians should know that over 300 languages
The shop, Fulani and very people, but no people, that is always there. You definitely have to have a joke or two about themselves. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for the royal father. It's another gentleman very well now. For those taking the records, some people who are just trying to be sure with the names is Alaji Dr. Muhammad Sambo Haruna II, the mayor of Wasi, Plateau State. Mariam.
Thank you, Your Highness. I know that a lot of us here would like to say one or two things, about this lecture, congratulating this giant stride by Africa's largest radio network, the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. But time will not permit us, of course, to take all of the people that want to say one or two things concerning what is going on here at this moment. So please bear with us. But we'll take a few goodwill messages, and I'll begin with Professor Muhammad Yahya Kuta. He is the chairman, Presidential Livestock Implementation Committee. Do we have Prof around? Professor, thank you, sir. A round of applause for him as he steps up. All right, okay, apologies. He's the Secretary, Livestock Implementation Committee, not the chairman. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President is the chairman, so I'm just an agent. Distinguished guests, let me first of all stand on the existing protocol to save time, but let me recognize our royal fathers and thank you for your patience to continue to stay, because traditionally, even when governments come and go, the traditional rulers remain, and the people continue to go back to them. So we're not surprised you are staying back. Thank you, sir. Let me, on behalf of the co-chairman of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, Professor Atai Rujega, who requested me to represent him here today after receiving the invitation of the Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Dr. Mohamed Bulama. He insisted I should be here because he's on another
assignment outside Abuja. As a matter of fact, we just came back from Bauchi last night and on this presidential livestock reforms assignment. So he's already on another trip again, but I have to stay back, given the import of the significance of this discourse. And as a media scholar, I'm also aware of the significance of media in shaping and amplifying development as in agriculture and other development issues. In the Presidential Livestock Reforms Committee that you are all aware is chaired by Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a mark of his commitment and belief in the livestock sector as a game changer in the fortunes, prosperity of the nation. Let me deliver briefly the message of Professor Jega. He aligned himself and all of us at the committee, the 25-member committee, believes that the committee was inaugurated by Mr. President on the 19th of July, 2024, with 16 terms of reference that resulted in 22 process objectives. And in the process, the committee, after thorough deliberations, came up with 120 reform activities. One of them is the creation of the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development that Mr. President graciously gave to Nigeria. And I'm happy that the Minister of Livestock Development, the pioneer minister, has done justice by selling the ministry to the world, not only to Nigeria. And we are glad to note that, as Mr. President said on that day, that he wants this ministry or these reforms to take cognizance of inclusivity and, irrespective of political ideology, is going to be for the whole nation. And he wants the buy-in of subnationals. And I'm glad to report here that many states already are creating ministries of livestock development. Some of them already have them, like Niger State has Ministry of Livestock Development and Fisheries. The governor also created Ministry of Pastoral and Nomadic Affairs to address the issue of farmer-herders conflict in addition. And just recently, Borno State had already created Ministry of Livestock Development, followed by Yobe State had done that. And just yesterday, both states had created Ministry of Livestock Development, and the counting continues. So let us give applause to Mr. President for creating an opportunity for Nigerians. And most importantly, the economic prosperity and possibilities associated with the sector is legendary. Just recently at G20, Mr. President invited some of us to participate. Professor Tairu Jega, the Minister of Livestock Development, Minister of State for Agriculture, and myself were in Brazil. And we were blown away by the potentials of Brazil, where public-private partnership and private sector investment has demonstrated that livestock sector is more than oil and gas. One company in Brazil, JBS turnover in 2024 is $79 billion. So therefore, if you are talking about a sector that will do well in terms of GDP and economic prosperity, I think the livestock sector is there. And that is why all the reforms that are happening today, by the opportunity created by Mr. President, is to advance frontiers and create more possibilities along the path of this industry. On that note, we pray that Nigerians will take advantage of this window of opportunity, and we know it will also further help us to address the issue of farmer-herders conflict based on the challenges posed by climate change, based on population explosion And then the demand for natural resources, especially pasture, water, and all other associated needs in the sector. Ladies and gentlemen, it will interest you to note that we have seen our livestock sector has conquered poverty in Brazil. Our livestock sector has conquered food insecurity, and I know we can do it in Nigeria, and we'll do it, and we'll do it, and better than even other country. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Muhammad Yahya Kuta, Secretary, Presidential Livestock Implementation Committee. Please, we'd like to implore our speakers to help us manage our time so that we can really get to the crux of this event. Thank you very much. The next person to give a goodwill message is the Director General, National Broadcasting Corporation of Nigeria, Mr. Charles Ebuebo. Is he in the house? Okay, he just stepped out. We go to the next person, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Dr. Arabi Ibrahim. Do we have Dr. Arabi Ibrahim in the house? Thank you. A round of applause for him as he comes up.
My boss, the representative of the Vice President, Madam Baba Ahmed, the representative of the Minister of FCT, Minister of Agriculture, Your Royal Highnesses, Emirs of Zozo and Wase, Director General, NTA, Director General, Federal Road Safety, Director General, Radio Corporation of Nigeria, representative of the Commercial, representative of Chairman ICPC, representative of the Nigeria Customs Service, former Director Generals and Chief Executives of agencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed our pleasure to be with you this morning, to be part of this very important historic occasion, to celebrate Radio Nigeria for this wonderful achievement and to further draw the attention of Nigerians to this very important issue that is of enormous importance to humanity. Nigeria food crisis, which way forward. The Bureau of Public Service Reforms worked with the World Bank 10 years ago based on the focus that 10 years from that time, there will be food crisis in Africa. Therein, we worked with the Ministry of Agriculture, the National Seed Council of Nigeria, to see how we can help Nigerian farmers with improved seedlings. And we are glad that that work gave birth to quite a number of seed processing companies that are operating in different parts of the country today. The Nigerian food crisis is a multifaceted challenge that strikes at the very heart of our nation's socio-economic fabric. It is a crisis that threatens not only the livelihood of millions of our citizens, but also the prospect for sustainable development, stability, and growth. Today, as we deliberate on solutions, I wish to frame our discussions within three strategic contents of the National Strategy on Public Service Reforms, which is the coordinating document our Bureau is using to reform Nigerian public service. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope Agenda and global framework such as Sustainable Development Goals and African Union Agenda 2063. The National Strategy on Public Service Reforms
emphasizes the importance of institutional reforms, socio-economic development, public financial management reforms to address systematic challenges like food insecurity, strengthening governance framework, and fostering collaboration across sectors is pivotal. To ensure sustainable solutions, we must streamline regulatory processes, enhance the capacity of our public services, and ensure efficient resource allocation towards agricultural initiatives. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda aligns seamlessly with these priorities, focusing on economic diversification, enhanced agricultural productivity, and improved rural infrastructure. By providing targeted support for smallholder farmers, expanding access to credit facilities, and promoting mechanized farming. This agenda aims to reduce Nigeria's dependence on food imports and bolster local food production in the country. Furthermore, the Renewed Hope agenda's emphasis on empowering youth and women in agriculture is vital for fostering innovation and inclusivity in the sector. At the global level, the SDGs, particularly Goal 2, Zero Hunger, provides a comprehensive framework for tracking food security or insecurity. This involves ensuring access to nutritious food, promoting sustainable agriculture, and addressing the impact of climate change, and also integrating these objectives into national policies, which are essential for aligning efforts with global best practices. The African Union's Agenda 2060 also offers a blueprint for transforming Africa's agricultural sector. It underscores the importance of modernizing agriculture through technology, increasing inter-African trade in agricultural products, and fostering regional cooperation to address shared challenges. Nigeria, as a leading nation on the continent of Africa, has a very critical role to play in realizing these aspirations. As a way forward, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's food security crisis requires a multifaceted and coordinated approach. Key strategic pathways and suggestions by us include strengthening institutions and governance, investing in rural development, empowering farmers and communities, leveraging technology and innovation, fostering regional and global partnerships. As we gather here today, let us reaffirm our commitment to securing Nigeria's food future. Food security is not just an objective, it is a moral imperative and a cornerstone of our nation's development. Together we can overcome the challenges before us and create a nation where every citizen has access to affordable, nutritious food. Once again, I want to thank the management of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria for providing this platform to address such a very serious, critical national issue. And I commend all the awardees for their outstanding contributions to our nation. Let us remain united in our resolve to build a nation where food security is not just a vision, but a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we're moving next to our next destination, which is someone's collector's item, you say. A lot of people will want takeaways from the next item on the program, and it's none other than the special guest of honor's address, His Excellency, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima GCON, ably represented by an erudite scholar, an elder statesman, a special advisor in the office of Mr. President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad. This gentleman needs no introduction as much as this. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please let's give him a round of applause, because definitely you'll hear words of wisdom.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Before I deliver His Excellency's address, may I take the liberty of my presence here and also the presence of so many faces that I'm familiar with to say a few words as my contribution. I would have been here anyway, even if the Vice President had not directed me to represent him, because in many ways this is my event as well. When the Vice President directed me to represent him, because unfortunately he's out of the country because he would have been here because otherwise, I told him that he was doing me great honor, and he was curious. I said, I'm only asking you to represent me at the FRCN, and I said to him, sir, FRCN is not only. When you speak about FRCN, you don't use the word only. FRCN has been the foundation of Nigeria in all its mutations and in its histories. And for me and my family, it is virtually part of our DNA. And every time an event involving FRCN, and we can go back all the way to NBC, it reminds me about how much my immediate family had contributed its little quota, from Aminu Baba Ahmed to Mahmoud Baba Ahmed to Alifa Baba Ahmed, all the way to one of our youngest brothers who is still flying the flag, Jalul Baba Ahmed. My entire family has been shaped by NBC, FRCN, and Nigerian media. So when I participate in a media such as this one, it's actually an honor to me. Secondly, I said to him, Your Excellency, you might have forgotten that I used to share an office with one of the best minds that I've had the privilege to know, who you took away from this office and you sent him to FRCN as DG, my brother, Dr. Bulama. And he said, oh, yes, it was. Because we did share an office. And we shared more than an office. We shared a long history of comradeship and friendship and service. I say this because it is important for FRCN to know that we gave up one of our best and brightest people so that he can come and be the DG of FRCN. So you guys had better treat him well, because he's not only good, but he has access to the highest offices in this country. He's humble enough to be one of all of us, but I can say that he's one of the brightest and most committed Nigerians I've got to know. That's the bit I have to say. I now have to do the right thing and deliver His Excellency's address, and he regrets that he is not able to be here in person, and his wishes that this particular event will go well. Your Excellencies, representatives of governors, the honorable ministers, Minister of State, Agriculture, and the Minister of Livestock Development, Minister of representatives of members of the National Assembly, Royal Fathers, my Emir, the Emir of Zazzau, Your Royal Highness, we pray that the foundation stone of the Zaria Mosque that was laid a few days ago will be completed, and we will see the end of that project with you as our leader. We pray for the success of that endeavor, and we bless everybody who has contributed to it. And thank you. Emir of Wasay, Your Royal Highness, one of our models, traditional rulers, people who put themselves forward as the pillars of community coexistence and Development. His Royal Highness the Oba of Lagos, DG FRCN, current DG FRCN, there are many former heads of FRCN and other heads of former heads of federal government media and current serving heads of federal media organizations, guest lecturers and discussants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure I've missed out some very important people here. I ask for your understanding. I will deliver His Excellency's address now. It's a profound honor to share with you the joy of this day as we gather to confront one of the most pressing challenges of our time, food crisis in Nigeria. The theme of this event, Nigeria Food Crisis, Which Way Forward, is both timely and urgent, reflecting the existential importance of food security to our nation's survival and prosperity. It is often said that Nigeria is blessed with abundant fertile land and hard-working population that harnesses these natural gifts. Yet, this blessing is overshadowed by the sobering reality that millions of Nigerians are at a great disadvantage due to disruptions in our food production and supply systems. These disruptions stem from factors beyond their control, including the consequence of conflicts and the devastating impacts of climate change. Food security is not just about ensuring that barns and warehouses are filled. It is about making sure that every household, from bustling cities to the remotest villages, have access to nutritious and diverse diets necessary for healthy and productive lives. This understanding forms the foundation of our interventions in agriculture and food systems, which are designed not only to address immediate needs, but also to lay the groundwork for long-term sustainability and resilience. When we assumed office last year, we prioritized the distribution of fertilizer and grain to farmers and households to mitigate the effects of subsidy removal and ensure food supply chains remained intact. Through collaboration between the Ministries of Agriculture and Water Resources, we have revitalized irrigation systems to enable year-round farming and improve water management. To stabilize food prices, we are deploying a national commodity exchange board to establish and maintain strategic food reserves while effectively regulating market dynamics. Our resolve to guarantee food security inspired the creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development and His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. This landmark step aims to modernize livestock production, ensuring the availability of healthy meat and dairy products, while expanding export opportunities in line with global best practices. Indeed, our commitment to boosting agriculture through industrialization is reflected in the establishment of special economic zones across key states designed to attract investments in food packaging and agro-allied industries. We are leveraging Nigeria's vast arable land and abundant water resources to establish a robust value chain in rice, millet, cassava, and livestock farming. Our Nigeria Cassava Investment Accelerator Program exemplifies our dedication to unlocking the full potential of this critical crop. As the world's leading producer of cassava, Nigeria has an unprecedented opportunity to generate up to $300 million in investments and create over $5 billion in annual foreign exchange earnings through export and import substitution and increased incomes for more than 3 million smallholder farmers. Beyond these immediate interventions, our focus extends to transforming the entire food production landscape. Through initiatives such as the Nutrition 774 initiative, we are addressing malnutrition across all local government areas, ensuring that balanced diets become a reality for all Nigerians. This initiative reaffirms our commitment to making nutrition central to national health and development policies. Nutrition is the fulcrum of a healthy nation, and our efforts in this regard underscore our belief that a well-fed population is fundamental to a prosperous and secure Nigeria. As we tackle the broader challenge of food security, we must also address the growing threat of climate change. The adverse effects of environmental degradation on agriculture are undeniable, and our response must be both innovative and decisive. Through programs like Grand Challenge Nigeria, we are fostering innovation to address malnutrition, food insecurity, and climate resilience while advancing the Sustainable Development Goals. By embracing environmentally sustainable practices and channeling financial resources forward and through green initiatives, we aim to mitigate the impact of climate change on our food systems and pave the way for a more secure and equitable future. The journey towards food security cannot be undertaken by the government alone. It requires the active participation of all stakeholders, private sector actors, development partners, civil society organizations, and indeed every Nigerian. The National Economic Council, comprising all states in the Federation, has prioritized food security as a stabilizing force, aligning its efforts with the National Emergency on Food and Security declared by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. This administration has initiated several measures to enhance agricultural productivity, including the immediate release of fertilizer to farmers. This is implemented by the Value Chain Development Program, currently increased yields for smallholder farmers and contributed over 1 million metric tons to our national Agenda 2030, which is zero hunger, and the African Union Agenda 2063, which envisages a self-sufficient Africa as a global powerhouse. These goals align with our national food system transformation pathways, which integrate existing policies such as economic recovery and growth plans, and national policy on food and nutrition, and the national policy on foods and safety. Together, these efforts are designed to eradicate poverty, achieve food security, and promote a healthier and more prosperous Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, food security is not merely a government priority. It is a shared national responsibility. The task ahead is formidable, but it is not insurmountable. With unity of purpose, innovative thinking, and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of our people, we can overcome the challenges before us. This moment, like all those before it, must serve as a call to action for all of us to join hands in building a nation where no one goes to bed.
Kindly put our hands together for our special guest of honor. That's the speech of the special guest of honor, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, as represented here ably by elder statesman Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad. Very well. Just a recap of what we're doing, because we're getting to the peak of the event. That's the lecture itself. It's the 2024 FRCN Annual Lecture and Awards, and the topic is Food Security in Nigeria, Which Way Forward? In a moment, we'll be meeting Professor Abba Gambo of the University of Maiduguri. But we will actually say here that so far, so good. Someone to bring us into the, give us a little bit of a pinhole, or a little bit of a pinhole view of our guest lecturer is none other than the Secretary Organizing Committee of the annual lecture. Salem Akindele Rock will dig a little bit into who this guest lecturer is. Salem, please come forward.
Our guest lecturer for today is a farmer, a teacher of farmers, and a teacher of the teachers of farmers. He was born into the Al-Kanemi dynasty in the famous agrarian society of Yerowa, ancient capital of Borno State, of Borno Empire, now in Maiduguri local government area of Borno State. He started his education at the Gamboro Primary School, Maiduguri, before moving to the Federal Government College, Maiduguri, for his secondary education. His next port of call was the Ahmadu Bello University, ABU Zaria, for his IJMBE A-levels. He had his first degree in agriculture at the University of Maiduguri in 1990, a master's degree in agronomy from the University of Ibadan in 1993, and a doctorate degree in crop science agronomy from the Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto in 2008. Professor Gambo started his academic career as a graduate assistant at the Department of Crop Science, University of Maiduguri in 1991, and rose through the ranks to become a professor of agronomy in 2015. He has contributed to several national initiatives that have contributed to the quest to make Nigeria food secure. These include the National Facilitator Horticulture at the National Food Reserve Agency, Abuja, for 2 years, 2008 to 2010, where he, among other things, drafted the curriculum for the training of 10,000 unemployed youths at AMTI, Ilorin. He trained 5,000 youths in nursery management, orchard establishment and maintenance, oil palm seedlings production, and management of millet, sorghum, and maize farms at various institutes, including the Federal College of Horticulture, that in Kuwa in Gombe State, Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research, Benin, Edo State, and the National Institute for Oil Palm Research, Jericho, Ibadan in Oyo State, all in the space of 8 months. He also trained farmers in conjunction with the National Seeds Council on hybrid seeds utilization of millet, sorghum, maize, cowpea, and groundnut at Adamawa ADP in Yola, Adamawa State, Kano ADP in Kano State, Jigawa ADP in Duse, Jigawa State, and the Zamfara ADP. Assorted tree crop seedlings under the Community Orchard Program to the 36 states and the FCT between 2009 and 2010. Our guest lecturer also served as the national consultant to the National Program for Food Security of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, Abuja, between 2008 and 2011, and 2011 and 2013. While there, he was part of a fact-finding mission on tomatoes to Jamaica and attended several trainings, workshops, and bilateral meetings within and outside the country. He equally had the opportunity of imparting knowledge to farmers from Gombe and Borno states, while also training horticultural farmers from Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara states on improved
Agriculture and Water, as well as the Policy Advisor, Agriculture and Water since 2009 to date. Apart from other projects here, it is instructive to note that he was a resource person at both the 2019 and 2023 induction program for newly elected governors. He equally drafted and submitted full report of the National Peer Review of the 36th Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2010. Professor Gambo is a much sought after authority on Gam Arabic, including its certification and standardization, rice production and seed certification, millet, sorghum, maize, food security, and feed mills, among others, and has visited several countries on these platforms, including Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Brazil, Panama, Jamaica, Chad, Niger, Cameroon, Benin Republic, Gambia, Turkey, and Israel. He is a member of several international and national bodies, including, but not limited to, member of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, AFAN, member Soil Science Society of Nigeria, SSSN, member Horticultural Society, Abuja, and fellow of the Horticultural Society of Nigeria, member of the International Society of Horticultural Scientists, and a member of the International Union of Soil Sciences. He has handled several international, national, regional, state, and community-related assignments, be it outside the country or within, at various states of the Federation. He has also undertaken several leadership and professional positions and has won several honors and awards that, if we should begin to mention them, it will be another lecture on its own. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to let you in on the fact that despite his legendary work habit, Professor Gambo still has time for recreation and procreation. His hobbies include horse riding, which is synonymous with legendary figures from the Al-Kanemi dynasty, reading, research, writing, traveling, and making friends, while he is happily married with two beautiful daughters, Hafsat and Nana Bintu, and two handsome sons, Buhari and Ahmad. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the podium to deliver the 2024 FRCN Annual Lecture this erudite scholar, enigmatic leader and teacher, a great motivator and development strategist, a father and family man, foremost farmer and teacher of farmers, pan-Nigerian, an apostle of food security, Professor Abua Gambo, FHSN.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, ably represented by our father, elder statesman, and one of the greatest stars of the North, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad. The Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Ionze Wike, Your Royal Highness, sir, the Emir of Zozo, Nigerian Ambassador to Thailand with concurrent accreditation to Myanmar, Chancellor of the University of Jos, Chancellor, Greenfield University, Chancellor, Western Delta University of Baro, Chancellor, Huda University, Gusau, and Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR, and the Emir of Zozo, Your Royal Highness, Alan Gubro, His Royal Highness the Emir of Wase, National Vice President, Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, National Vice President, Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, Chairman, Jamaatul Nasrul Islam Plateau State, Coordinator of the North Central Northern Traditional Rulers Council, and a doctor of public administration, and a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Training, and life patron of the Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe lecture series. My father, I welcome you to this distinguished gathering. May I also notice some few individuals here before I start? I will have very limited time. I would like to pay a special tribute to Professor Mohamed Yahya Kuta, my teacher, my mentor, and my very good friend. Famous for all his works, he started as graduate assistant at the University of Jos and rose to the post of professor, and he's still there at that particular department. He was one time SSG of the Niger State government, and of course, the accolades are so many. Prof, I recognize you, and I thank you for being there for me always. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to recognize Professor Usman Tahir, the Commissioner of Information and Internal Security, Borno State, former lecturer at the Nigerian Defense Academy. He's sitting there quietly, but he's doing some excellent job at the University of Maiduguri. Professor Tahir, welcome, and I recognize you. I want to recognize Alhaji Abdulhamid Salihu Dambos, the Director General of the Nigerian Governors Forum. His Royal Highness the Emir of Wase said the Fulanis have colonized virtually everywhere. Your Royal Highness Sarkin Wase, I want to let you know that I have colonized Alhaji Abdulhamid Dambos of the NTA. Okay, can we start quickly? Yeah. I will have loved to be moving up and down, but then because of the mics here, I usually enjoy giving my lectures moving up and down. DG, can I be able to do that, or I should not? I should stand in one place like you to talk, but I want to move up and down. Do I have that leverage? Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Can I have a mic, a mic that I can be moving up and down? Is it possible? Okay. Pardon? Oh, I should not do it. Okay, so it's okay. Slide one, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Slide one. Okay. Please, this slide is the most important of all my slides. The year 2024 saw the greatest damage to media practitioners in the whole world. So many lives were lost within and outside Nigeria, and that's why it's a dark slide. I beg you to kindly stand up and pray for the souls of all the media men and women all over the world that have passed away in the year 2024. Please, just 30 seconds. Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Royal Highness Emir Abuase. Thank you, Your Royal Highness Sarkin Zozo. And thank you, the DG. May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace. I want to recognize and appreciate the Honorable Minister of Information. Unfortunately, he gave his remarks. In his remarks, he mentioned my name record 3 times. I wanted to say so many things about him, but unfortunately, he is not here, so I skipped that. And then we move to the next slide. Dr. Mohamed Bulama, Dr. Garba Abari, you taught Dr. Mohamed Bulama, and Dr. Mohamed Bulama taught me at the University of Maiduguri. I'm standing here today because of the positive impact Dr. Mohamed Bulama had had on my life at the very young stages of my life. I can still recall the very first lecture. He came in smartly dressed with a long short sleeve shirt and then well tucked in, handsome looking, still handsome looking, with his cover shoes. He was to take us General Studies 101. And he came in the very first day and he said, my name is Mohamed Bulama and I'm going to be your lecturer for General Studies 101. And he started. I would like to look at the history of Nigeria, but I'm particularly interested in the military incursion into the political landscape of Nigeria. And he went ahead and to say that the forceful intrusion of the military, with due apologies to the military officer sitting there, he said it's an aberration. And these words are in my head up till today. And actually, I got the momentum to become a lecturer courtesy of him. He became the ASU chairman. And all of a sudden, when we're looking to him as our role model and our shining star, Dr. Bulama left the university system. But I want to commend his intellect, his proactiveness, his doggedness, his pragmatism, and his ability to make sure that the FRCN is actually uplifting the people and uniting the nation. We are all witnesses that since his assumption of office, Dr. Bulama has brought his wealth of experience to the media cycle, and he has made substantial changes and progresses and elevated the radio station below how he found it. Can we give him a good round of applause? Next slide, please. Who do I have? His Royal Highness Emir of Zazzau. I want to give special recognition to you, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, 19th Fulani Emir of Zazzau. And Your Royal Highness, you're such a very humble person. Really. Your Royal Highness may remember once we met in a train. I was coming from Kaduna to Abuja, and you are also on the same train. I saw your Shamaki, and I asked him to please kindly ask if I can come and pay my royal respects. He said, Gayama Sayezo, Gayama Sayezo. I had that one. So I came and scooped in your presence. You gave me your hand. I refused to collect the hand. I scooped in your presence. We spoke, and I asked for a photograph. You gladly accepted for the photograph to be taken. I have the photograph, which is one of my best mementos in life. Then, of course, finally, you brought out a special card with Z on the card. It was such a very soft card, and you said, this is my hotline. I sincerely appreciate you for that, and I want the people to know that you are one of the most humble emirs we have in Nigeria today. God bless you. Next. His Royal Highness the Emir of Wase is an enigma. The Emir of Wase is in a special class of his own. You need to go to Wase to know the strength of this great gentleman. And there is no crisis or any security challenge that happens in Plateau without this man coming with water to douse out the fire that is always on the plateau. He has been an advocate of peace, and he's living peacefully with his neighbors, Langchang to the east, Shandam to the north, and then Panshin to the west. And right there within all of them, he is living in an excellent coexistence with all the other people, different tribes, the Angas, the Jukuns, and the Kanuris, that are all an Wuse Emirate. I want to thank you for being a beacon of hope for all the youths of today, and indeed for generations yet unborn. We thank you, Your Royal Highness. Next. And I want to give special acknowledgement to my sister here. Please stand up for recognition. Please, my sister, come over quickly, please. Just 1 minute. This woman means so much to me. I'm telling you, she means so much to me. She was the first person that called me on behalf of the DG to reveal the news that I, a very tiny professor in one small university, in one localized state, down in the northeastern part of the country, is going to deliver the 2024 lecture. Mrs. Kiel, I really want to appreciate you. God bless you and continue the good work. I also want to recognize Teso Zambe, who is also a staff of the FRCN, and Hajia Fatima Audu Yusuf. Please, Hajia Fatima, if you are in the hall, I want you to stand up. She's the general manager of the Maiduguri Peace FM, one of the most tantalizing radio stations in Maiduguri. Her programs are always very educative, highlighting, and always incisive. Hajia Fatima has managed that station for quite some time, and she has brought extreme changes, positive changes to that Peace FM, and I've been her guest for more than 20 years. So I want to thank you, Hajia. Maybe the exposure started with you in our local Maiduguri before I was introduced, and then now I'm talking to FRCN in the whole country. Hajia, thank you very much. Take your seat. And similarly, I want to recognize Adamu Mohamed Saadu, who is my friend and my brother. He's over there. And Alaji Ibrahim Burema Usman, the Sarki Yama of Tico Emirate. And I want to also acknowledge Abdullahi Tanko Yunusa, and of course, my daughter Hafsat Abba Gambo, and my son Buhari Ahmad Abba Gambo. They are all there. Please stand up for recognition, two of them. Hafsat holds a BS accountancy, and she just passed her ANAN. Hafsat is a pride to all of us. And Ahmad is in SS2. Like Dr. Mohamed Bulama, he wants to be an activist. He contested for the parliamentary elections of his secondary school, and he was elected as the Minister of Agriculture. Ahmad and Hafsa, may God continue to bless you. Proud of you. Take your seats. Let's now keep moving. Let's look at the Nigerian scenario quickly. 92.3 million hectares of land, 79.8 is arable cultivable, 33.4 is under actual cultivation. The remaining 43.4 million hectares is lying fallow, wasted. And of course, we have what we call the Fadama. We have about 3.1 million hectares of Fadama, which can actually soak and absorb water during the rainy season, and it can be used for dry season. As I'm talking to you, we are just utilizing about 400,000 hectares, not even up to 1 million hectares. And of course, with a population of 220 million people, we have to move fast to make sure that we feed everybody. Then, of course, 528 ethnic groupings. But of the 220 million people, 87% are involved directly or indirectly in agriculture. Next slide quickly, please. Yeah, this is the agroecology. I just want to mention one thing about this. Savannah, we have the Sahel, Sudan, Guinea Derived. We have the rainforest and mangrove. Then we have specialized areas, Mambila, Jos, and Abudu. So this diversity, 3 months in rainfall in northern part of Maiduguri, and 11 months of rainfall in Bayelsa. There is a particular island that is called Focados Island. It's a river state. It has 12 months of rainfall per annum, while in the most northern part of the country where I came from, we have less than 3 months. So you either do all your agricultural activities within the 3 months, or else you are out of business. And in most cases, for the 3 months, we have to go out with your children and then pray to God Almighty to bring the rain before the rains will come and will contribute our substantial quota to agricultural development. But that diversity is our greatest advantage. That diversity means that anything that can be grown in the world can actually be grown in Nigeria. Anything you can think of that can be grown outside Nigeria can actually be grown in Nigeria. Next. Now, everybody is talking about food security, food security. Let's get the basics. What exactly is food security? If I should define now, more than 80% of the people in this room are not secured food-wise. Honestly, and I have my reasons. Let's begin to go. First, the food must be available. If it is available in the market, excellent. But then it must also be affordable. You must have the cash, the wherewithal to go and buy the food. And then number 3, it must be balanced. 4 classes of food makes you a balanced person, or makes a diet person. meat and meat products, fruits and vegetables, grains and bread and grains, and finally milk and milk products. And that is where the challenge is, milk and milk products. How many people have taken milk today? Please, if you have taken milk this morning, kindly raise up your hand if you have taken milk. So I can just see 3, 4 hands. So that means out of about 500 of us, only 4 people are actually taking a balanced diet. With due apologies to Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad. Amma ban san ranka dai baka sha madara ka fito ba? Ko sai ka koma za ka sha. Next slide, please. Next slide. So let's look at the present status before we move to know the challenges and also to proper solutions. The present status as of today in the agricultural subsector is that the whole industry is rudimentary. The hoe that my grandfather used is the same hoe that my father used, and is the same hoe that I'm also using today. When you go to southern Nigeria, the cutlass that your grandfather is the same cutlass matches since. No technology at all. And the piece of land is usually in small hectareages. A man with 4 wives and 38 children with a small farm, he goes down and all of a sudden the farms are fragmented, and of course there is a kind of hectareages, small hectareages all over. No modern technology. We like modern technology in the agricultural subsector. No fertilizer is a mirage in most cases, but this year actually the Federal Ministry of Agriculture did excellently well for the first time in the history of Nigeria by distributing fertilizers to all the farmers across the nation. I commend the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. And then if there is low input, automatically always there will be low output. You don't have certified seeds. You don't have hybrid varieties. The seed from your farm is the same seed you're using again. It doesn't make sense. Agriculturally, once you plant a seed, it has automatically become food. So when you go for harvest, you look for a maize that has big stalks, or you search for a millet that is very strong, or you look for some rice strains that give some very good heads, and fertilizer, seeds, and all other chemicals before the rain falls. Distribution of fertilizer in August and September does not make sense, because then even the plants do not need them, because they are about going to harvest. And we have very harsh environmental boundaries. The desertification in the north is sweeping into the country, and of course, flooding here and there, cutting of trees, deforestation, so many other vagaries. I want to recognize my president, the president of All Farmers Association, Architect Kabir. My deep apologies, sir. Please, can you stand up for recognition? I did not see you first, but then he's over there. So, and then most of the farmers in Nigeria have very little knowledge. Very little knowledge. And of course, most of them do not have access to credit. Now, we are looking at agriculture as a business, like any other business venture, whereby you go to the bank, take a loan, come and do the business, get profit, and repay back your loan. That's how agriculture should be. But then 90% of Nigerian farmers do not have access to credit. They cannot go to the bank to access any loans, and that's a big challenge. Agriculture is becoming more and more expensive by the day. Then, of course, inadequate and ineffective extension system, where I will talk on it further, and then insecurity. Next slide, please, quickly. Okay, please, can I have your attention? Let's go through this, all of us. Kindly, let's go through this. We want to compare Nigeria with other countries. And I want to start with rice. The yield of rice in Nigeria is 1.5 tons per hectare. In Thailand, same hectare, it gives 30 tons. In Nigeria, the cocoa gives 150 kilograms per hectare. 150 kilograms. I can hold it in my hand. But then, when you go to places like Ivory Coast, Malaysia, Ghana, and Brazil, they give about 2 tons. That's 2,000 kilograms. And we are just given 150. Let's move. Maize, our average yield is just about 1.2, but we are reaching about 2 tons per hectare. But then the world average is 12 tons per hectare. And a hectare everywhere is the same hectare everywhere. So, groundnut, we give 400 kg per hectare. In Turkey, Spain, and Egypt, they give 2,700 kilograms per hectare. And for tomatoes, we just give 5 tons per hectare. In Jamaica, under greenhouse technology, they give up to 100 tons per hectare. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you very much. For potatoes, Irish potatoes, we give 6 tons per hectare with all the land in the plateau and all the land under the Zozo Emirate that do plenty of potatoes. All we are getting is 6 tons per hectare, but then other countries are getting 60 to 80 tons per hectare, most especially in the United States and then in the Irish unit. Then onions, we give 15 tons per hectare. Yemen, even under the war, gives 120 tons per hectare. In Africa, Niger Republic, our neighbor across, gives 45 tons per hectare. Senegal gives 38 tons per hectare. Egypt gives 25 tons per hectare. Don't forget, Nigeria is giving 15 tons per hectare. When you come to fishing, we are still doing peasant fishing. In other places, it's a modernized kind of trawler that will go into the ocean, spend the night, and then come early in the morning with all the varieties of fishes uncountable. We really need to move fast. And then milk, which I said is a major challenge in all our diets. All the Fulani cows that are moving up and down everywhere, they give about 150 liters per lactation. That means, please, can I have this bottle? Sorry, please, quickly. The typical Fulani cow, Your Royal Highness, with due apologies, the typical Fulani cow gives 1 liter of milk of this per day. But then the Frisian and the Simmental, they give 20 to 40 liters of milk per day. And there are so many farms in Nigeria today that have this kind of animals. Several farms of Admiral Inyako, he has the Frisian. It gives 20 liters in the morning. They go for grazing, they come back, he also milks another 20 liters, giving him 40 liters. But the Fulani cows that are moving all over the country give just 1 liter of milk per day. We have to note this. And we want to commend His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for creating a special Ministry of Livestock Development. I'm sure this is going to tackle all these things I'm talking about. Then, of course, even in carcass, the meat is not good enough. And then I'm interested in the calving. A typical cow is supposed to give birth every year. Alai Lankolo, is it not true? You are an animal scientist. A typical cow is supposed to give birth every year. But Nigerian cows, they give birth once in 3 years. So what's the matter? That 3 years, a woman can give birth to 3 children in Nigeria. Yes. I just met a woman at the bank with 2 beautiful sons and kids. Both of them dressed very well in the same attire, shoes, everything. I love children. I said, madam, you have a beautiful set of twins. She said, my brother, they are not twins. So Emeka was born January 2001. And then Obuka was born December 2001. So she has given birth twice in 1 year. Now they have even gone further that they are giving 3. We hear of quadruplets, 6-plets, etc. And while our cows are still giving birth once every year. Next slide, please. That's the typical FRCN cow. We must have seen so many of them. So if the Ministry of Livestock Development wants to do something great, is to get these types of cow, and then we do artificial insemination with our local ones. We will have some hybrid that will give better milk, and of course maybe they will be able to give birth every 2 years instead of every 3 years. Next. All right, let's look at the regions quickly to know what exactly is happening. Food security, which way forward? Let's look at each region one by one and do a comparative analysis. The Northeast region, where I came from, has the highest illiteracy rate. It has the highest maternal mortality. It has the highest child mortality. It has the highest lack of industries. It has the highest lack of good road networks. It has the lowest school enrollment. It has the lowest per capita income. It has the lowest processing plant. Desertification is effective from north, and this year the Alau Dam broke, we had flooding, and still we have some insurgency here and there, and our major comparative advantage is the only state, Borno, that shares border with 3 countries, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon, and the presence of the Lake Chad. Next slide. Southwest region, they have the highest per capita income in Nigeria. No shaking about that. They have the highest per capita income. They are good in roots and tubers. They are also good in fruits and vegetables. They have plenty of plantation crops, cocoa, cola nuts, etc. And of course, high level of industrialization. You find plenty of industries there that are performing things. But their major problem is the age of the farmers. In the Southwest, the average age of a farmer is 59 years old. All their children has left. When you go to Yoruba villages, you find out that it's only the old women, some young ladies, and the aged that are left. All the other youths, some of them are doing kabu-kabu in Abuja, some of them are selling fuel somewhere, some of them are political talks, etc. These are the kind of people that we need to reintegrate into the agricultural system so that we can get better productivity. We did a peer review recently under the auspices of the Nigerian Governors Forum. And then I was tackling agriculture. I was looking at the type of foods that people eat. And then I was able to know who are the best feeders in Nigeria and who are the worst feeders. I will talk about the best feeders, but pardon me, I don't want to talk about the worst feeders. The best feeders are the Igbos in southeast Nigeria. They never make vegetable soup with one vegetable. If they want to make bitter leaf, you will see some pieces of ugu, you will see some pieces of scent leaf, you will see some pieces of everything. But when you go to the northern part of the country, if my wife wants to make kuka for me, it's just kuka and kuka and kuka alone. And the same thing when she wants to make okra, just okra alone. But then go to the southeast, if you want okra, apart from the okra, they will put some pieces of ugu, they will put some pieces of amaranthus, they will put some pieces of bitter leaf, and they will also go ahead to put snail, stockfish, dried fish, fresh fish, goat meat, everything in one soup. So that makes them the best feeders. When you see a typical Igbo woman with her daughter, you might think she's working with her sister. Next slide, please. Next slide quickly. The South region, we just came back from Calabar, where we went for the 46th National Council of Agriculture. It was well attended by all the 36 state commissioners of agriculture, and we did excellent deliberations. Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, all the issues you raised, it's as if you are just at that council in Calabar. Because all the issues you raised, we took them one by one, we formed thematic areas, we looked at the challenges, we did a kind of SWOT analysis for all the items you listed, and at the end of the day, we came to a conclusion, and we submitted to the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. And I'm sure 2025 is going to be a very great year for the agricultural sector and indeed for the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. So in the south side, they have plenty of roots and tubers, massive water for aquaculture. They can grow rice, fruits, and vegetables. But then they have the challenge of militancy, limitation of farms, especially in Bayelsa, where the land is more of water than land. And of course, the aging population of the farmers in the south-south also. Most men do not go to farms. It's women that do all the farm work, which is not good enough. And then news recently at the 46th Agricultural Council, we were able to access Cross River, and today Cross River is the 16th wheat producing state in Nigeria. I repeat, Cross Rivers is the 16th wheat alkama wheat producing state in Nigeria. We saw the plantations, and then the Minister of Agriculture did some flag up of everything, but they are harvesting their wheat is lying low, fallow state. Next slide, please. Quickly, we have to rush through. The North Central Zone, where His Royal Highness the Emir of Zazzau comes from, they have excellent climatic conditions. And that's why the Emir is always looking very good. And they have grains and plenty of cereals, especially at the Zaria axis, Funtua, Molumfashi, and they have some roots and tubers also. They've started growing yam, especially in southern Kaduna, Saminaka area, and of course plenty of fruits and vegetables. They are also into aquaculture, but then their youths are very restless. We want those youths, Your Royal Highness, to be motivated, intimidated, lobbied, and dumped into the agricultural sector. That is my only prayer, Your Royal Highness. All the youths in Zaria, Zozo Emirate that are not doing anything, can we have a special policy? Ask Governor Ubasani, we can give him the support from the Nigerian Governors Forum. Let there be a special policy for inclusion of youths and women into the agricultural subsector. And I swear to God Almighty, by the next rainy season, the yield of what you're producing in Zozo Emirate will grow by 300%. I assure you, Your Royal Highness. I am giving my assurance. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so food insecurity, we've seen everything. How did it begin? It's not something that just happened overnight. No. There were several factors that made the food insecurity to come a thing. And the first thing was COVID-19. During the COVID-19, there was a global lockdown. Farmers could not access their farms. So there was a kind of gap in food production, which was the fundamental of the insecurity in food that we are having. Then, of course, the Naira swap just before the elections, and it was during the rainy season. Your money is in the bank, but you cannot be able to access it, and the rents are falling. You need to buy seeds, you need to hire laborers, you need to get tractors, etc., but you just cannot afford your money. That also contributed greatly to food insecurity in Nigeria. And thirdly, removal of the petroleum subsidy. This is the worst. Let truth be told. With the increase in fuel, every other thing increased. Taking your farm inputs to your farm doubled. Bringing your farm inputs back home doubled. Getting tractor with the diesel and fuel to go and do your plowing and harrowing became something else. Because farmers could not just afford all this because of the cost of fuel. And the next, there are these inconsistent governmental policies. A Minister of Agriculture will come, there will be a good policy, like the green alternative of Chief Abdu Obe. Chief Abdu Obe left, and the green alternative went with him. Then Nanono came. He also came with his own plan, and then he left. The plan also left with him. Same administration. Then all of a sudden, Dr. Mahmoud came as minister. He had a very good NAPTIP plan. He left. But fortunate for all of us, the present Minister of Agriculture said, no new policy. We are going to continue with this policy, and this is going to be our policy direction. I think this is one of the best things that happened to the agricultural sector. But there are some others. But for the minister to be humble enough to say, I don't need another document, let's work on this present document, I think shows political will and great sense of leadership. The farmers are always fighting with the herders. The herders are always fighting with the pastoralists. The Fulanis are always encroaching into farms. And the farmers are always preventing the cattle from moving from one place to another. But then, Professor Yakuta, you remember that our conference by Kano State government, we worked tirelessly to make sure that we get the matrix of the problem, and then the federal government has accepted the proposal. We said there should be a special ministry for livestock, and I think the federal government has done it. Thank you very much. We want to thank you. And our team lead, Professor Atairu Jega, we all did an excellent job. So we want to wait and see how the ministry is going to work. But please, Professor Yahakuta, don't move far away. With that Fulani man in that livestock ministry, that Fulani man in that livestock ministry, he needs all our support. The support of Nupe people and the full support of Kanuri people like me. Next, we have the aging population of farmers. As I said, most of our farmers are getting old. Please, next slide quickly. I want to rush through rural-urban migration, the population issue. Like I talked, women giving birth twice a year, in some cases 3 times in 1 year, or 3 kids in a year at a time, or 4 in a year at a time, or 6 in a year at a time. Please, can we clap for all our women in Nigeria? God bless you. Continue giving us more and more children so that we'll go back to agriculture to make sure that we feed them all. And of course, poor access to credit, as I said, poor infrastructure, lack of agro-processing plant, high post-harvest loss. The tomatoes produced at the Kura Churomawa axis in Kano cannot be moved to Ibadan or Port Harcourt where it is needed within the shortest possible time. We did a survey for a truck to leave Maiduguri with fresh vegetables to Lagos. There are about 57 different checkpoints from Maiduguri to Lagos. At every checkpoint, you have to stop and drop something. And of course, the same thing when you're carrying livestock. You see so many cows die because of exhaustion, because of lack of water, and because of lack of food, because they cannot endure the whole journey, because of the checkpoints. Every state to state border, there is a checkpoint. Every local government to local government, within the same state, there are checkpoints. And of course, you find plenty of checkpoints by just some youths or none. They'll just put big rocks and big sticks. When you come, they'll say, bring something or you will not pass. When you begin to argue with them, they will all disappear. And that means for you to come out and carry all the rocks and everything. So you have to give something. And I think the government must look into this. I'm happy my father is there, Baba. You know about the livestock issue. You are the president. And you know the major challenge is the transportation. Is there something we can do to make the transportation of livestock easier? Because I learned that Lagos alone, they slaughter 10,000 cows every day. Lagos State alone consume 10,000 cows every day. The meat, the orishirishi, the roundabout, the pomo, and every other thing you know in the cow is consumed. The only thing that is not consumed are the horns. Really. But every other thing, the skin that is supposed to make shoes for us and bring foreign income is being eaten as pomo. So now if you say no eating of pomo is going to be another problem. Let us continue to eat pomo, but make sure that the livestock are better fed and better handled. Next, please. Next. Okay, thank you. Low technological development, low extension service delivery. This is where Dr. Mohamed Blama will come in, and I want to emphasize this. especially with also the Alhaji Abdelhamid Dembos. I will talk about it in a short while. Then hoarding. Let us be truthful. There are some people everywhere, their major job is to buy in excess during harvest and go and hold it, or go and hide it, or go and lock it up in a particular place so that when the prices go up, they now bring them and sell. Hoarding is a major problem. If you are to break up all the shops and all the warehouses and all the silos, you will be surprised that there is more than enough food to feed this country. With all the things we are talking, there is enough food for every Nigerian. I'm telling you. But then hoarding has to stop. How to stop it? The government should act on it. And then next, we have the issue of land tenure system. The land tenure system means you cannot get farms the way you want. We want the land tenure system, which is archaic and is not in tandem with modern times, to be reviewed by the National Assembly. Then next, we have the climate change, which everybody knows, and then lack of post-harvest. Next slide, please. So these are the diagrams that are all in the paper I've already given. I'm looking at the food. Look at the way it is rising. So actually, even though we are talking about food insecurity, but then the food is actually growing. So even though we are talking about low food, you can see over 10 years, the food is actually growing. So the farmers are doing better, and it shows that we can actually reach higher than the peak so that there wouldn't be any talk of food insecurity. Next slide, please. These are the countries, and I was talking about the regions. Quickly, next slide. Next slide, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Nigeria has remained a major, go back a bit. Nigeria has remained a net importer of agricultural goods. Look at the years, and then look at the numbers. For 10 years, Nigeria has been importing so much. And look at the prices in USD, billion of dollars. In 2003, you can see what we imported. So please, next slide, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Let's go, keep moving, let's go, 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 go. Stop here. Food inflation. Today, the food inflation is 33.4%, which is the highest ever since independence. 33.4% is the food inflation index today. And you can see the prices of everything has gone up. Red oil, even sugar cane, banana, carrot, maize. You can see it. I got this from the Guardian of the 17th, just 2 days ago. And in my reference, as you taught us, we've actually quoted Guardian newspapers. Next slide, please. So the global food insecurity increased by 12.6 within the very first week of the Russia-Ukraine war. The two countries, Russia and Ukraine, feed nearly half the global population with grains, particularly wheat. So we now know where the problem is. Unless and until all of us make Russia and Ukraine to come back to peace, there will be inadequacy of wheat all over the world. This is a fact. And the same Russia is the major producer of wheat, soybean, seed, fertilizers, and agricultural machinery. Now you cannot get all these things because they are, war. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the media. The role of the media in achieving food security. All of you media guys here, you know this quote. The mass media are intermediate and mediated in several sentences. They often lie between you as receivers and that part of potential experience which is outside our direct perception of contracts. They stand between ourselves and other institutions with which we have dealings. They provide links between these different institutions. And that's a definition of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. uplifting the nation, uniting the people. Every staff in FRCN is an extension agent, and every staff in NTA is an extension agent. So you have to make Ogadembos, make the agricultural decks at NTA more robust. I know the last time I visited you in your office and you gave me excellent food. I enjoyed that food very well. Anyway, well-balanced food. So please, make sure the agricultural decks becomes very... Train Musa Aliu, Musa Baba Ahmad. Get some more into the subsector so that there will be reporters on agriculture alone from all the zones giving agricultural feedbacks every day. And same with Dr. Mohamed Blama. You are the Chief Extension Officer of Nigeria. You must make sure that extension is given the rightful place. Agricultural dissemination is given the rightful place in your news. Let there be more of agricultural reports. Let there be more of livestock reports, positive reports, talking about remarkable things in the agricultural subsector. That is what we want to hear and see from the FRCN and the NTA. Next slide, quickly. Next slide, still talking. This is the most important slide to me. Okay, DG, I have your attention. This is the most expensive. Let's look at extension service delivery. Your Royal Highness, you remember when you're growing young in your native area, Malamangona, where are the Malamangona in Zozo Emirates? They are no way to be found. Then look at the statistics. It says that the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations officer to 500 farmers. And the African average is one extension officer to 5,000 farmers. The Nigerian scenario is one extension officer to 500,000 farmers. How can that be possible? For one man to be servicing 500,000 people. Is that possible? Bring them to FRCN, let them get some training in reportage, take them to NTA, let them have some training in reportage, and send all of them to the field to be extension agents, and definitely there will be a good rise, paradigm shift in the agricultural subsector. Next slide. Okay, look at all these plants. Just continue. Onions, carrots, continue. Stop, go back to the last one. Look at the woman arranging. If you see them arranging fruits and vegetables, honestly, you might think they are architects. When you see them arrange groundnuts on a tray, when you see them onions in a basket, wallahi, you would think that they are first-class architectural students. But then I have something to say here. Next slide. Look at the, no, go back to that. That first one is in Edo State. Has the highest plantain. The plantain is there. There is no road to that village. So the plantains are there, but they cannot be taken out of that village from the area of production to area of consumption. And down there is ShopRite. That's how they arrange the things. Move up to the last slide, please. The previous slide. No, this one, the previous one. Look at this woman. Most of you, when you go to buy from this woman, you begin to bargain. How much are your mangoes? 5,000, 2,000. Madam, give it for 1,000. Madam, give it to 500. But when you go to ShopRite, you don't do any bargaining. You carry all the fruits and vegetables that are produced in Nigeria, you go into ShopRite, washed and packaged well. So packaging and post-harvest handling It's a major problem of agriculture. If we could have a good packaging of our products, definitely we can compete with any other nation. And next slide, please. Next slide, keep going. We have all this in the country: mango, citrus, apple can grow in Nigeria, banana, dates, keep going, watermelon, citrus, onions, tomatoes, keep going, okra, cucumber, pumpkin, keep going, carrots, cabbage. Okay, can you go back to cabbage? Cabbage. There is something special about cabbage. If you are moody and you are not happy, you just need a leaf of cabbage, wash it and just chew it. It has a chemical that will excite you and change your mood within 5 minutes. Free consultancy. If your wife annoys you, eat cabbage. If your boss annoys you, eat cabbage. If you don't have money, eat cabbage. Next slide, please. Keep going, keep going. I just have 1 minute to go. Continue going. Okay, way forward. DG, sir, this is the way forward for us to get food security. We should have the farmers database. Who are the real farmers in Nigeria? We do not know. We need a tentative farmers database with the geo-coordinates of their farmland so that we can capture them and give them the inputs. But as of now, we don't have a comprehensive database. Same with the soil map. You know, agriculture needs fertilizer. When you apply acidic fertilizer on an acidic soil, the soil is gone completely. Vis-a-vis for alkaline fertilizer on alkaline soil. So we are always looking for a balance. Acidic fertilizer on alkaline soil, alkaline fertilizer on acidic soil. But if you don't have the soil map, how will you know whether your soil is alkaline or acidic? That's also a major problem. Next, comparative advantages. The 36 states should look at their comparative advantages in agriculture. What is the comparative advantage of Ebonyi? It's rice. Ebonyi, keep producing rice. What is the comparative advantage of Akwa Ibom? Cassava and oil palm. Akwa Ibom, continue producing that. What's the comparative advantage of Kaduna State? Cowpea, maize, sorghum, etc. Continue producing. Let every local government were among comparative advantages in agriculture. What is the comparative advantage of Ebonyi? It's rice. Ebonyi, keep producing rice. What is the comparative advantage of Akwa Ibom? Cassava and oil palm. Akwa Ibom, continue producing that. What's the comparative advantage of Kaduna State? Cowpea, maize, sorghum, etc. Continue producing it. Let every local government area, 774, know their comparative advantage in agriculture and let them focus on that particular crop alone, and you will see significant changes in what we are saying. Next slide. Okay, continue. Efficient water management, germplasm development, research and development, very important. Then, of course, access to credit, which is, I said, forward quickly, go forward. Commodity marketing board, Dr. Baba Hakim Baba Ahmad. You remember the commodity marketing boards of the old days? And you know how they made the farmers to be very great people? You remember that time of your youth when the cotton farmer is one of the most respected people and everybody wants to give him a wife? You remember those days? If you bring back the commodity boards, the farmers are going to have a feeling of being farmers, and they will get value for what they are producing. So I recommend strongly that the community marketing boards of previous years should please be brought back. Then improve effective and efficient extension services, I talked about it. Improve gender consideration. The women do most of the work in agriculture, even in the north, with all the Sharia, with all the hijab. Our women go to the farms. Really. Every part in this country, women go to the farm. In the north, all planting are done by women, and picking of beans, etc., all done by women. So let's empower our women to be grateful that they are women and they are into agriculture. Please, if your wife wants to venture into agriculture, please give her all the necessary assistance. If your sister wants to be a farmer, give her all the necessary assistance. Because farming is not like before now. Farming is an investment venture, like banking, oil, telecommunications, and NTA marketing, or FRCN, uplifting the nation and uniting the people. Next slide. I'm about rounding up. I will round up. Go, continue going. Okay, stop and stop at the next one. Traditional rulers. Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad, you have relations with the palace, and I happen to be a prince of the El-Kanemi dynasty. Our tradition, the emir of Zazzau, sitting just near you, knows every stranger that comes into Zaria every day. He has an intricate mechanism of knowing Suwa Nene Yo Suka Shugo. And in his palace, there is a title holder that is called Kartakwana. That man does not start his work until 10 p.m. So any visitor to the emir, even if the emir is within, you cannot reach the emir, that man will give you accommodation and food till the next day, and he will bring you to the emir. So the traditional rulers are the nucleus of our societies. We have to give them some portion in the constitution so that at least they can be able to perform their duties. Even as they are sitting now, most little crises, maternal crisis, husband and wife, small thefts, are all handled in the Zaria's emir's palace. No police, but they know how to handle it. His father did it, his grandfather also did it. So the traditional rulers should be given a special status in the constitution so that they can do their work very well. I want to conclude. Okay, wait here, let's just press the present government. From the 29th of May 2023, His Excellency President Tinubu announced the proclamation of national emergency on food security. This is the first time it's happening in this country. He needs an applause. Then secondly, the president also removed rural development from agriculture and said Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. That also is a very depth innovation happening for the very first time. And of course, not enough, he now carved out the Ministry of Livestock so that the Fulanis can go their way, we Kanuris can also go our way, and Ogadembos will say in the middle, we want to thank the president for that also. Finally, in conclusion, for my conclusion, continue all this is I wish to conclude by quoting the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari. And in his inaugural speech, he now said the mandate of the ministry, food security, economic growth and job creation, poverty eradication, inclusivity, youth and women. That's what I've been saying. Next slide. Thank you so very much for your attention.
This one is a shot. A big shot. Please, another round of applause for him. I have never seen a man like this. Never. Never. He breaks it down to the understanding of everybody, to the grassroots of everybody. Everybody feels it. Excellent. Please, another round of applause for our guest speaker. You can't take enough of it. And you cannot sleep because there are always things for you to smile and laugh and come along with. So you can't forget anything. This one is one for the records. Thank you very much, sir. Professor Abba Gambo. Very well. Now let me make quick recommendation before. It makes the job of Mariam Okesenjo a lot easier because I know she will basically round it all up. Alhaji Baba Osman Ingel Zarma, National President, Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association. Alhaji Baba Osman Ingel Zarma, National President, Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. One more time. Alhaji Baba Osman Ingel Zarma, National President, Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. Ibrahim Osman Angbodo, Honorable Commissioner of Information and Culture for Tourism, Nasarawa State, representing the Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer A.A. Sule. Ibrahim Osman Angbodo, thank you very much for attending this event. Alhaji Jimo Ibrahim, former Director Administration, FRCN, thank you for making our time to come. The indefatigable Samson Alhaji Shoaibu, former Acting Director General, FRCN. Thank you very much for making our time, sir, to come over. Mariam Okesenjo, let's see how you make do with the few minutes available. Please come forward, Mariam.
Thank you very much, Ihaya. The next program is panel discussion. We have listened to our erudite scholar, our guest lecturer, Professor Gambo. So now we have three panelists that will be analyzing the lecture that we have just listened to, and of course bring up some new ideas also into it. May I crave the indulgence of our panelists to take just the first and the last paragraph. Please, may we be seated? Thank you very much. May we be seated? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay. I have Professor Uche Joseph Uwaleke from the Department of Securities and Investment Management, Nasarawa State University, KEFI. Professor Uwaleke. A round of applause for him. I also have Dr. Muradeyo Adebanjo Otitoju. Dr. Muradeyo Adebanjo Otitoju. And the last but not in any means the least is Comrade Ene Obi. Comrade Ene Obi. Would you come over? Comrade Ene Obi. I would like to recognize the presence of Hajia Katume Bulama Ghana, National what? National Troop of Nigeria. National Troop of Nigeria. Thank you for coming. Comrade NLB, okay, we have her. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, can we have one house that will quickly get done with this? Initially, we were supposed to have a discussion concerning the lecture that's just been delivered, but because of time constraints, we're just going to limit it to listening to our panelists, what they have to say about the lecture, and if there are new ideas they want to bring in as to the way forward, in ensuring food security in Nigeria. Let me start with Professor Walike. Professor Walike actually Professor Walike is a renowned professor of finance and capital markets. He has worked as a chief economist and director of research at the Securities and Exchange Commission, Nigeria, and was at one time the Honorable Commissioner for Finance in Imo State, Southeast Nigeria, where he distinguished himself as a public finance expert, implementing public financial reforms and strengthening debt management. Currently, he is the director of the Institute of Capital Market Studies at the Nasarawa State University, Kefi, North Central Nigeria. Prior to this time, he served as head of various departments in the same university, including accounting, banking and finance, and securities and investments management. Thank you once again.
Before Professor Walike speaks, please kindly settle down. If we don't settle down, people milling around and the noise, we cannot hear what the takeaways are. Please calm down, settle down, and let's hear what they have to say. Thank you.
Professor Joseph Walike, could you come over? Okay, you could sit there anyway if you choose to. You listened to the lecture, I'm sure.
Yes.
Let's have your take.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Before I start, I will appreciate the erudite professor for the excellent presentation. And in honesty, professor is an artist. He dramatized the reality that my name, I am representing Professor Uche Walike, who is unavailably absent due to some other task. Dr. Abiodun Ihebuzo, and I work with him. Precisely, the lecture delivered the reality of our time. It is important to follow the trend that Professor Gambo had already presented by emphasizing that food security, yes, a global phenomenon, it is strongly challenging for Nigeria. Professor had already informed us of the importance of the decisions made by the federal government, and one of those decisions covers the issue of soil mapping. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture currently is working on the Nigeria Farmer Soil Health Card Scheme. The Nigerian government has taken decisive action to ensure that food security is enhanced. My choice of word here is food security is enhanced. However, A major element of emphasis from the lecture is the role of the traditional leaders, and by extension, the role of the family. The role of the family in influencing what needs to be done. The United Nations Food Systems Pathway, which is a flagship agenda globally, addresses the concern of food system. Nigeria today is one of the most recognized participants in promoting the food system pathway. To succeed and to ensure the sustainability of this concept, synergy is needed. Interministerial cooperation is needed. Food system transformation and food security is a cross-cutting concern. It does not sit in one ministry. It sits in every ministry. Yes, the media has a strong role to play in terms of information dissemination. However, the emphasis here is the quality of information and the timeliness of information. Weather information, climate information, market information, these are all information needed to enhance food security. Furthermore, the role of the family is important alongside the role of the traditional leaders. The family, being the smallest unit of the community of the society, is the center of orientation. I will refer to Professor Gambo, for instance. Professor Gambo showcased his family, his children. It is the influence of family that will make the younger generations make decisions concerning food security. If we keep emphasizing to our children that agriculture is not just a practice, but a business, that orientation will come quickly enough and support all the ventures concerning food security. Finally, for this moment, issues of hoarding, which Professor has also emphasized, is currently being dealt with. I am sure the Security and Exchange Commission of Nigeria is currently working on a bill on warehouse receipt system. The warehouse receipt system will contribute so much to solving the problem of hoarding. I will stop for here and let other people say their own view. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And for me, the family also has a role to play from what you've said. We should encourage our children to have interest in agriculture. Thank you. Quickly, let me move on to Dr. Moradeyo Adebanjo, Titoju, PhD. Received his Bachelor of Agriculture, B.Agric, in Agricultural Economics and Extension from the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Nigeria. A Master of Science, MSc, and Doctor of Philosophy, PhD degrees in Agricultural Economics from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Nigeria. He started his career with the Civil Service of Ekiti State, Ado-Ekiti, where he worked as an agricultural officer, too, in the Ekiti State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Ado-Ekiti, for about 2 years before joining the service of the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA, Abuja, on 1st December 2010 as a senior scientific officer and rose to the rank of Assistant Director, Research. While in NABDA, he was the head, Technology and Innovation Support Center, TISC, and later served as the coordinator of Bioresources Development Center, Biodec, Ilesha, Osun State, Nigeria. He currently works as a senior lecturer with the Department of Agricultural Economics, University of Abuja, Nigeria, Agricultural Value Chain, Agribusiness, Health. He is currently a facilitator in the Center for Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards, CPES, of Joseph Saswan Tarka University, Makurdi, Benue State, Nigeria. Now, Dr. Moradeyo Otitoju, can we quickly have a summary, your summary of the lecture, your observations?
Okay. Please settle down. Those people are in the hall, if you can just be a bit, so we can listen to our panelists, please. Thank you.
I want to appreciate the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria for this great opportunity to be here today. You can see what our guest lecturer has actually delivered on the issue of food security in Nigeria and which way forward. You can see the scenario of what happens in our agricultural landscape in terms of the people that should provide the extension, agricultural extension and advisory services to farmers. The ratio that we have, which is just too, is too alarming compared to what is happening in other emerging economies of the world. Nevertheless, when you see all this scenario, let's talk more on what to do, especially when the guest lecturer made mention of the extension service delivery. Now, major problem that we see in many of the things that happen, probably in our country, not that some efforts are not actually made at times, but some of these efforts are made in such a way that they don't have proper and adequate coordination. For example, we're talking about this agricultural extension and advisory services delivery that we talk about in Nigeria. If we want to have a kind of food security, a nation that is fully food secured, we must be able to have a proper policy that will be properly coordinated, because if the policies are not properly coordinated, then there will be a problem in terms of the networking, in terms of collaboration, and if all these things are being done in terms of the hierarchy that the coordination should, the policy should have, so that these things can be actually announced in order to enhance our food security system and our food systems in the country. You can see, let's put something to practice. If you ask parents that are here, for example, I'm from the university, I'm from the Faculty of Agriculture and Department of Agricultural Economics, and ask parents here that do you want your children or your wards to study agric? People will say, no, we want them to go to medicine and surgery. Let them study medicine and surgery. Let the person study law. Let the person study, my child will study this. In order to have a kind of to have a social class, that my son is studying this, my this is studying this. If you come to our faculty, and at times, you will just ask the student, at the end of the department, I call some students to ask them, do you actually choose agric in your JAM? Some of them say, no, I chose medicine and surgery. But when they could not get that, they will not probably come to agric, or they were forced to agric. So many of them, before they get their feet to be able to do what they are to do, 1 year, the second year, the third year, it's not as many of them are not even good. But because the image we give to agriculture as a profession, agriculture as an occupation, and these are the things that actually affect invariably our food security system, our food systems at the end of the day. You will see that we must be able to have adequate and proper policy coordination system in order for us to be able to achieve food security in the country. And again, we can see that there are some policies, the inconsistencies. We want to thank our guest speaker that actually mentioned that the present administration is actually not leaving the policies that were good or good, they continue with them. So we must be able to see, just like what one of our professors in agroeconomics of blessed memory, Professor Francis Suleiman Idashaba, after doing many of his work, he now wrote a compendium. And the title of the compendium is that good intentions are not enough. At times, there could be good intentions. If they are not properly coordinated, there will be a problem. It was part of the people that initiated the establishment of universities of agriculture in Nigeria, in order for us to be able to enhance our food security in the country. But what are we seeing today? Many of our federal universities of agriculture are actually evolving and changing into conventional universities. And some of these things are the things that can actually help us to be able to achieve food security, especially in terms of training the people that are actually specialized, that are trained by specialized universities, just like other things that have been happening, that are happening in other parts of the world. Again, you can see that we must be able to see the issue of research and development. Research and development in this part of the world, there is no, I will put it this way, no proper synergy between the university and some research institutes and research institutions. You will see in other parts of the world, like the Netherlands, you will even see some of their universities, like Wageningen, Wageningen University and Research. That shows the research components, those that are even the research institutions are actually being, merged with the people in the university. So all these things has to be properly done. The research and development must be properly funded. It must be properly funded for it to actually achieve its aim. And lastly, when Prof made mention of farmer database, and these, there are so many political farmers at times, because of influence, they can get things. But what he said, we must have a kind of farmer-centered digital transformation in such a way that the farm, when that farmer is actually registered, his farm, the geo coordinates of his farm is attached to his name. So that when another person is to be registered and using that geo coordinate, that one will drop it. So it will help us to be able to go a long way in achieving food security. We actually thank the president for actually, renaming the Ministry of Agriculture as Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. This is a development in the right direction. We can do much more and build on this. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Otitoju. Okay, the policies are there for us to ensure food security, but implementation has always been the problem. So we need to work harder at that and, of course, improve funding for research and development. Thank you very much. Since our major focus is the way out, food security in Nigeria, so I would like Comrade Ene Obi to speak more about what other things the various tiers and arms of government can do, and individuals also, to ensure that we have food security. But before then, a quick look at our profile. Comrade Ene Obi is the immediate past country director of Action Aid Nigeria, which she led for 6 years, and the immediate past convener of the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room. Within the last 16 years, Ene has worked in over 15 countries across Africa and some parts of Asia, leading various action aids projects towards the realization of the organization's vision to eradicating poverty and promoting social justice. Ene comes with more than 30 years' experience in development work from diverse backgrounds, including the She suffered several detentions and jail by the military government in the quest for Nigerian democracy, like many students of our time. She is an activist and started her core involvement in social movement struggle from the women's movement as a staunch member of the Women in Nigeria movement wing. She's a graduate of English education from the University of Jos, Nigeria, holds a master's degree in international law and diplomacy, MILD, and another master's degree in political science, both from the University of Lagos, Akoka, Lagos. She is currently undergoing a PhD course in political economy and development studies, which she started at the University of Lagos, but had to defer so that many orphans and vulnerable children could go to school, using her resources to support them.
Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Comrade Ene Obi.
Thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to the DG, for inviting me and his team. And I want to say a big well done to Prof, my brother and friend, Congratulations on your presentation. Very, very proud of you. And I'm happy to have been working on the stage with you in terms of trying to see what we can do, in the best interest of our country. His paper is about 39 pages. 39 pages, so if you read it in detail, I'm sure they'll make it available so that you can see the depth of what he has written. They just slice it into, the slides, but the paper is very, very deep. For lack of time, we are not going to examine it all. I'm happy that your number 19 was where you talked about the traditional rulers, but you redeemed that by telling them about what they need to do. I think we should bring it further. And then you talked about, let us look at the budget. The president of Nigeria just presented the budget yesterday. The budget of 2024, if you look at it, there is only 3.5% of the national budget for agriculture. It's supposed to be 15%. And now you have created another ministry. Is it that 3.5 that is going to share with another ministry? Because every ministry comes with its own bureaucracies and also, overhead. So the synergy in that area. So I think we need to address the issue of budgets. Abuja Declaration promises that you have 15% for the agricultural sector. And then we have so many diversities in terms of, when you are looking at where the provisions of the budgets are, how many ministries is that budget going into? There is a lot that we need to talk about. But I want to concentrate on that for someone who has monitored the budget for many years in terms of agriculture, and having been part of development partners who monitor the National Council on Agriculture and Rural Development for quite some time. We have new names now, but I want us to go back to the budget, because the budget, if it is not enough, because the guest lecturer says we need to act now as leaders. And I'm happy that the speech of the Vice President also talked about nutrition. We need to look at that. The nutrition policy of Nigeria was only in 2001, and I was in public health for about 10 years, and I happen to have been one of those who took that nutrition policy to 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, trying to make sure that, issues of nutrition can go down to different corners of Nigeria. Because even in the paper, it stated there that 55% of pregnant women are malnourished. They're acute malnourishment, and so when you look at those figures, and the beginning of the paper also addresses the fact that 79% of Nigerians are living below the poverty line, which is $2 per day. And we talked about inflation. When you look at the issue of oil, I'm happy that the writer did not shy, the guest lecturer did not shy from that. The issue of oil subsidy, the removal of oil subsidy, that happened, we were having, I just want to, from a Nigerian woman's point, analyze that we went to bed with about, buying oil for about 200 naira, or is it 165 or 200 naira, depending on where you are, and we woke up and it was 617, and now it is 102, 1,200, depending on where you find yourself. If you look at inflation, if you want to judge inflation from 200 to 100 to 1,200, what is that? And that is how all the food has skyrocketed. So the pronouncement that was made by the president in his resumption to say oil subsidy has been removed or is over, that pronouncement sent many Nigerians to poverty. You can imagine if you are coming from northern Nigeria, we never used to think about Gari as anything. But Gari is a scarce commodity now for Nigeria. You cannot even buy granite to combine with it. And so we are in a nation where we are having everybody focusing on the renewed hope agenda. And I'm saying, because some people are in the audience and they know, when 7-point agenda was launched, I was there. The 7-point agenda was launched without 7 points. It was a political pronouncement. Let the renewed hope agenda not be a political pronouncement. We have intellectuals in Nigeria. You can just call some, have a technical team, and the president tell them exactly, because any president that comes, you have a vision of your own. People cannot have your vision. Just talk to them. They will develop it fully, so that even from the development partners' point of view, we are able to move forward, in terms of where we dovetail. When you are looking at, what has happened in terms of malnutrition, Nigeria is among the last 5 in the world in terms of maternal mortality and in terms of child mortality. Can we continue that? We are not at war. But I want to appreciate the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. It used to be Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development when I was working with them, at least working from a partnership point. They brought out a national gender policy on agriculture and rural development, and then action plan as well. It has a standing technical committee which many development partners are part of, that we can carry on. But the issue of nutrition is something that we have to focus on. There are so many children in IDP camps, and I stand as women who, because of poverty, because of lack of food in the IDP camps, we have so many women who are selling their bodies so that their children can eat. I want you to be able to think about that. That when you have 100 million Nigerians below the poverty line, what it means is that many people will go to bed hungry. The president, in the oil subsidy removal, when they remove the oil subsidy, Nigeria is the only OPEC country that does not refine oil. And so why should we be made to, the people be made to pay for inefficiency of government? And the president also, because the business of presidency is a very serious business. You cannot be the minister of petroleum, which is the mainstay. Give it to somebody and let them report to you, so that you'll be able to plan better for the country. And so moving forward, in agriculture, women, small-scale holder women farmers, are holding forth. We worked with them as a country director of Action Aid. We work with them, and they are in 36 states of Nigeria, which Prof also worked with, and they are all over the place. We need to be able to make not just inclusion, but to bring them on board. If the president can make one pronouncement that sends so many people into hunger, hunger is not a respecter of tribe, is not a respecter of political party, is not a respecter of religion, and so when you are hungry, you are hungry. And Nigeria has a volume of young people. They have no jobs. They have not even the students that are studying today. There are no scholarships in the universities anymore. The development of the human capital is very, very important. If you cannot consume even the human capital that you have, because we have millions. Anybody, if I ask you now, give me 10 people for employment now, I know many of you will run 20 names. What that means is that you have human resources you cannot consume. There is a way you can retune them. And then accessibility to funding, which Prof talked about. I just want to mention that accessibility. I led a team of some of our directors to CBN when they said there are billions, about 12 billion, sitting in central bank, and it is important for women to access. The conditions are not accessible. Okay. And the director was very sad that nobody from his own village can access that. So what we are talking about is that accessibility, we need to be able to create it. This lecture sends us on a reflection. We are Nigerians. Individually, what is your quality? How can we work together to make sure we have a better Nigeria? Nobody is saying, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, anymore. And then we are having people who are looting the economy. We have the issue of local government, which is very, very important to Nigeria. But up till now, the governors are not allowing money to be paid to the local government. Okay. Nutrition issue is very, very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam. A round of applause for Comrade Obi for that. Because of our time constraints, we're going to round it off here. That's the panel discussion. But of course, the summary of all the guest lecturers' lecture and of course, analysis from our panelists here is that Ensuring food security in Nigeria is a shared responsibility, a collective responsibility of both the government and the governed. All hands must be on deck if all of us must not go hungry. So we should have that at the back of our mind. And of course, there should be increased budgetary allocation for the agri sector is important also. And parents should also begin to, as a matter of responsibility, encourage their children to take interest in agriculture. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next item. Okay, yeah, I will handle that.
Okay, thank you for your patience, our most respected audience. Thank you very much. Now we're going to presentation of awards. Basically, that's the icing on the cake. One more time, please. Can I appreciate our audience? Sorry, our panelists. Let's appreciate our panelists, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we are going to the next item, and the chairperson for the organizing committee certainly she's in charge of that aspect of the program. But okay, but let's see what happens. Okay, we'll get the feelers. Try to get the feedback on how to cap it up. Okay, I understand it's time for us to have a photo shoot for the panelists and the organizing committee. Our Director General, Dr. Mohamed Boulame, will join you. So we can have photographs for the records. I understand some of the gifts have also been shared in the course of the discussion, but we'll still have one or two, I hope, at the end of the photograph session. We're rounding up for the vote of thanks. If there are a couple of people that have not received, we'll do the needful accordingly. But from your programs, you should know that we have appreciated a whole lot of people. Amongst them are Outstanding Partners Awards, Gado Agency Limited, NAFDAC, Nigeria Customs Service, Bridge Media Limited, Vine Branch Ministries, Radio Nigeria Station of the Year, and Staff of the Year. Accordingly, just before the vote of thanks, the chairman or chairperson organizing committee would put a make a final statement with that. Mrs. Sushimeki, just before the vote of thanks, let's know. Thank you. Mariam, please.
All right, we'll move on to presentation of awards now. And the awards are in 3 categories. We have the Partners Award, and these awards are being given to organizations that have stood with the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria through thick and thin. This is just to appreciate them and urge them to continue to partner with us, to uplift the people and unite the nation. And the organizations in this category include National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. Can we have the representative of NAFDAC to come up and receive the award? Representative of NAFDAC? Okay, so. Okay.
Photographer is there.
Okay, come to the stage. Come to the stage.
Presenter, please come over.
Okay. All right, Mr. Emmanuel Wogu is representing the NAFDAC, the Director General of NAFDAC. Okay, I have Salem here to take the citation of, is it NAFDAC now?
Yeah, NAFDAC. Well, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, was established in October 1992 and was backed up by Decree number 15 of 1993 as amended by Decree number 19 of 1999, and now the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, ADCAP, N1 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. It was established to regulate and control the manufacture, importation, exportation, distribution, advertisement, sale and use of food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, packaged water, chemicals, and detergents that are collectively known as regulated products. In case you are hearing about this for the first time, it means you have not been listening to a particular program which has been making the airways, and that program is called NAFDAC and Your Health. For about 10 years now, NAFDAC has been a tool. NAFDAC and Your Health has been a tool for enlightening Nigerians on the dangers of drug abuse, and is one of the longest running programs on Radio Nigeria Network. And it is for that NAFDAC is being given this Partners Award for today.
Thank you very much, Salem. And to do the presentation of this award is Alhaji Lawal Kolo Gaidam, representative of the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory.
On behalf of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, I present these awards to the National Food and Drugs and Administration Control for their collaboration, efficiency, effectiveness with the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria and Nigerians in general. I present this award to you.
Round of applause for NAFDAC for always being a reliable partner with the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. The next organization in this category, that is the Partners Award, is Gado Agency Limited. And I would like to invite to the podium the Chief Executive Officer of Gado Investments Limited, Mr. Godwin Odemije.
Mr. Godwin Odemije is one of the best journalists and producers ever produced by the FRCN. And so Gado Agency is more like a baby of FRCN. The agency is known for producing exceptional programs, and they have so many programs in different media in Nigeria, including Radio Nigeria. They've had programs like The Determinant, Complete Earth, and still have others like Money and Economy, and also the celebrated NAFDAC and Your Earth. The organization has also done a lot of award-winning documentaries as well as jingles for various organizations like the CBN, the Federal Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Information, NHRS, NAFDAC, UN Women, and Amnesty. The agency is also a bulwark behind the FRCN management in the area of providing welfare packages for the members of staff at festive periods. It's for these reasons that Gado Agency is being recognized as a partner of FRCN today.
Thank you very much. To do the presentation, we have the representative of Governor of Borno State, Professor Usman Tar. He is the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Internal Security, Borno State. Professor Tar. Okay. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you.
Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria presents Outstanding Partner Awards 2024 to Gado Agency Limited on this day, 19th December 2024. Congratulations, sir.
Investments Limited, Mr. Gordon Odemije. Congratulations, sir. Next is Nigeria Customs Service. Nigeria Customs Service Partners Award category.
What is today known as Nigerian Customs Service began in 1891. And indeed, the name came about in 1922. This service has actually been a very, very strong partner of Kaduna National Station of the corporation. They have consistently sponsored hiking customs since 2010. The program has endeared the customs service to listeners across the northern parts of the country, thereby facilitating great working relationship between the service and the people. And that's why they have been recognized as partners of FRCN.
A round of applause for the Nigeria Customs Service. And to do us the honor of presenting this award is Barrister Yusuf Nuhu, MNI, former Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. Barrister Yusuf Nuhu.
Okay, on behalf of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, under the able leadership of Dr. Bulama Muhammad, we present to you this noble award for your patronage and good performance. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the Nigeria Customs Service. Thank you for being a reliable partner with the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. Now we move on to the Bridge Media Investments Limited. Next partner award category, Bridge Media Investment Limited.
Please, we'd like the Zonal Director SASA to come over and collect on their behalf. Well, the Bridge Media Investment Limited is a company based in Uyo and has been a partner of FRCN Atlantic FM in Uyo. As part of the partnership, the Bridge Media Investment Limited undertook the renovation of the live studio, provided console, cables, tiling of the offices, and also provided a lot of gadgets to enable them to continue to function effectively, including drums of diesel, a photocopier, and headsets. It's for this reason that the Bridge Media is also being awarded today as a partner of the FRCN.
Thank you. And to present this award is no other person than Professor Samson Alhaji Shoaibu, former FRCN Director General and Fellow of Nigerian Defense College, Abuja. Professor Samson Shoaibu.
On behalf of FRCN, we are presenting Bridge Media this award for outstanding partnership and contribution to our growth and development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Salem, next.
A round of applause. And last but not the least here is Vine Branch Ministries. Vine Branch Ministries. And may I, do we have a representative from the, okay. Please, let's appreciate her.
Vine Branch Church is located at Mokola, Ibadan. It actually started in 1992 as a house fellowship with 17 people, but today it has grown to be a very, very, very big church, which has branches in Nigeria, in the United Kingdom, in Canada, and of course in South Africa. Incidentally, they are one of the longest sponsor of program on any radio Nigeria station with the New Realms. The New Realms hit the airwaves in the year 2001 and was edited by Premier FM when it began operation. Until tomorrow, that program is still on. From Radio Nigeria, it has grown to be on the social media, to be on different media, and to be on both international and national media. But everything started from Radio Nigeria, and they are still with us on Radio Nigeria.
Please, let's appreciate Vine Branch once again. And to do us the honor of presenting this award is our erudite scholar and guest lecturer, Professor Abba Gambo, University of Maiduguri. Professor?
Distinguished guest, the award says Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria presents Outstanding Partners Award 2024 to Madam, I need to borrow your glasses. Okay, yeah, Vine Branch Ministries. So congratulations on behalf but everybody here, congratulations. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
One moment, sir.
One moment, sir. Photograph, sir, with the chairperson. Thank you very much, sir.
A round of applause
Thank you,
for
Prof.
Vine Branch Ministries.
Thank you, sir.
The next award is Radio Nigeria Station of the Year. And this award is for that Radio Nigeria station. Can we have some silence? Thank you. The next award, as I said, is Radio Nigeria Station of the Year. And the award goes to that Radio Nigeria station that has received the highest number of awards from reputable organizations. And the winner is Bond FM 92.9 Lagos. Okay, the zonal director of Can we appreciate them as they come? Thank you. And I'd like to most respectfully invite the Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Dr. Muhammad Bulama, to do us the honor of presenting this award. Thank you, sir.
On behalf of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, I have the honor and privilege to present this award for the Radio Nigeria Station of the Year 2024 to Born FM 92.9 Lagos. I'm not surprised that Born won it. You know, Born is an outstanding station compared to its peers. But I'm sure that the others will brace up very soon and compete favorably with Born, because we are going to do the best we can to equip them so that they can also compete favorably with bond. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now that I have the opportunity, let me especially recognize the former DG of the FRCN, Malan Yusuf Nuhu, MNI. Even though he's a Fulani man, I can still do him the honor of recognizing him. In fact, I come a long way with him. Even before he became DG of FRCN, you know, I've met him and made his acquaintance, and we've been good friends, and so I'm more than happy that he's here today. I would also like to welcome very warmly Professor Shuaibu, one-time acting DG of the FRCN. I'm meeting him for the first time today, but I must say that I'm delighted that I'm meeting you, and we'll continue to tap from your wealth of experience. You are a professor after all, and you are still active. And by the way, he just told me that we are now neighbors, because he's now a fellow of the Nigerian National Defense College. I think we are just next door neighbors. So he's very much around. We'll continue to knock on your door from time to time. Thank you for honoring us.
All right, thank you. Another applause for our DG and Bond FM. Congratulations to you once again. The last award, but not the least, is the Staff of the Year Award. And this award is for that staff who has received the highest number of awards from reputable professional organizations. And the winner is your guess as good as mine? And the winner is Sunday Idoko Igoche.
Well, while Sunday Igoche is coming forward, let me just quickly tell you that Sunday Igoche is a broadcast journalist, content creator, researcher, author, budding administrator, and producer who has been with the FRCN since 2013. Popularly known as Chief of Staff for his dexterity, commitment to duty, dedication, and selflessness, Sunday Igoche is much of an ombudsman for the corporation. He's a well-known face among security agencies, as he's always the first person to be called upon whenever a staff or a listener has an issue that has to do with the security sector. Whether fighting for causes related to the cooperative society, the union as an executive of the FRCN UJ, chapel, or individuals, Sunday Igoche makes everyone's cause his own cause and goes to all lengths to solve problems for others. In the program directorate where he is domiciled, he is usually the last staff to leave the corporation, as he makes sure that things are in order even though not part of his schedule of duties. He's a professional to the core, and as for the last 5 years, 2020 to 2024, emerged as nominee for Africa's Foremost Media Excellence Trust, the Nigeria Media Merit Award, NMMA, winning it on 2 occasions and emerging as the runner-up on 3 occasions. He has attended several trainings, including self-sourced ones, such as the African Media Representative Training Program in Turkey, Mass Communication course at the Training and Media Studies Center in Egypt, BBC training, and of course, courses at the prestigious FRCN National Broadcast Academy in Lagos. He has also garnered various commendations from the FRCN management, the Nigerian Police Force, Training and Media Studies Center, Egypt, Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, and the Programs Directorate, amongst several others.
And we appreciate Sunday Idoko Oguche once again. Of course, the Director General is still there to make that presentation. Thank you.
Once again, it's my honor and privilege to present this award of the FRCN to the Outstanding Staff of the Year. This Outstanding Staff of the Year award for 2024 to Mr. Sunday Idoko Igoche, who is a serial winner of awards. In fact, just 2 days ago, I think on Sunday, just at the beginning of this week, he was an awardee at the Nigerian Media Merit Award in Lagos. And I think he has won that award also previously. So I'd like to congratulate you and I ask you to keep the good work going. I'm sure the sky is your limit, even though you are a short man. So congratulations, we are very proud of you. Congrats.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Another round of applause for Sunday. Thank you. Congratulations to you once again. The awards continue, and at this juncture, we'd like to appreciate our revered royal fathers for their outstanding support to the FRCN, and we're going to begin with His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zauzau, Ambassador Ahmed Noho Bamali, CFR, LLB. Can we have a representative of the Emir of Zauzau to receive the award on his behalf? And to make that presentation, I would like to invite Honorable Ahmed Sajo, former Commissioner of Information, Adamawa State. Honorable Sajo. Okay, Barrister Awal Momo, Zonal Director, Abuja Operations, will be receiving on behalf.
Well, I am really very proud because I know that His Royal Highness is somebody that had stood out both as a diplomat and indeed, of course, as a royal father. So on behalf of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, they're presenting this Special Appreciation Award to His Royal Highness Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, CFR LLD, in recognition of his significant support to the growth and development of the corporation. And this award is on this day, the 19th December 2024. May God continue to guide His Royal Highness.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And the next recipient of the FRCN Royal Award, that's the way I choose to call it, Royal Award, is His Royal Highness, the Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Babatunde Osholale Aremo Akiolu. Can we have a representative? Okay. And the representative of the Nasarawa State Governor will make this presentation, will do us the honor. Representative of the Nasarawa State Governor. A round of applause, please. Okay, he's the Commissioner of Information in Nasarawa State.
Special Appreciation Award to His Royal Highness the Oba of Lagos, Rilwan Babatunde Oswalele Aremo Akiolu. In recognition of your significant support to the growth and development of the corporation, on this day, 19th December 2024, FRCN Awards gives you this award. Thank you.
Mariam.
Thank you. The next and the last royal award goes to His Royal Highness, the Emir of Wase, Alhaji Dr. Muhammadu Sambo Haruna II. And I'd like to invite the immediate past Zonal Director of FRCN Ibadan National Station to come up and make this presentation. Thank you, sir. And our guest lecturer will receive the award on behalf of the Emir of Wase, Professor Gambo. Can we please appreciate them? Alhaji Mohammed Bello, immediate past Zonal Director of Ibadan National Station.
Is he there?
Okay, the immediate past Director of Admin.
Do you have Mr. Jimo there?
Is he here? Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, I wish to present this award to His Royal Highness, Emir of Wase, Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Sambo Haruna, in recognition of your significant support to the growth and development of the corporation on this day, 19th December 2024.
Thank you all very much. I would like to invite once again Mr. Godwin Odemiji, Chief Executive Officer of Gado Investment Limited, to come and respond on behalf of all the awardees. Mr. Godwin. A round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to say that I'm particularly very honored for this award. And on behalf of all the awardees, we say thank you. In my case, as the MD of Gado Agency Limited, I say thank you for 2 or 3 reasons. One is that I'm a product of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. And you may not understand when I say I'm a product of Radio Nigeria. Somebody discovered me in the newsroom and took me somewhere. And that is Chief Patrick Obazeli. He took me to the DG then, Abdurrahman Bichika, who decided to give me a loan to pay my school fees. And when I came back from school, he also did the conversion. And the last one I heard from him was that he has no regret converting Godwin Odemije. So another one that I cannot forget is Zachary Mohammed, because he gave me the platform to actually display what I learned in the school. You can see that I'm not referring to any of them in the past, because they live in my heart. I have a friend in the house. Mohammed Bello. In one of the fora we both shared, he was making a speech. He said, "You are the one that write your own records. Any report that is going to be written about you, you are the one that writes it, because nobody will write outside what you are." And I started researching into that. I want to tell you that I have a man in the house I call my DG. And he also called me his reporter. And why is he calling? Why I was wondering, why do you always call me your reporter? Then I found out that one organization paid him a courtesy visit. And after all said and done, the chief executive of that organization said only your reporter will come and cover assignment and he will not collect brand envelope. And he said, "Who is that reporter?" He said, "Godwin Odemije." Since that day, he started calling me his reporter. And that is my DG, Barrister Yusuf Nuhu. Thank you very much, sir. I want to quickly put on record that about a month or so ago, one young lady won the quiz we put on our program. He was the one that served us the correct answer. And he's from Echoman in the Southwest local government area of Edo State. Then I called her, "How did you get to hear us?" He said, "Oh, I listened through Bronze FM in Benin." Then I said, "So Bronze FM is not carrying our program?" They said the DG has given directive that every FM station must carry network program. DG, I must say that you have done noble there. That is one thing those who are moving out, seeking for a job, every client will be very happy to hear that whatever they want to air, it can reach the news and crowning of this country. Thank you so much. You have started writing a record that nobody can doubt in future. Thank you so much. So, on the whole, I must say I am honored beyond measures. I am happy that the organization I've worked for all my life has recognized the little contribution I'm giving. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Chairman Godwin Odemije. That's what we call him. Madam Ogisanjo, good job. It's been a wonderful job. Let's put our icing on the cake. Finally, somebody has to say thank you to all of us. And she's none other than the hardworking, tireless Mrs. Sushi McKee. I had to learn how to pronounce that name over again. Sushi McKee. She's Director of Programs, FRCN, at the FRCN headquarters here in Abuja. Madam, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Yahya. To God Almighty be all the glory and honor for the success of this event. On behalf of the Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Dr. Mohammed Bulama, I wish to sincerely express our appreciation to our distinguished invited guests for setting aside other engagements to be here with us. We cannot take your presence for granted at all. Many thanks to His Excellency the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima GCON, for your revered presence through your representative. We appreciate you. God bless you. We appreciate the chairman of the occasion, His Excellency, the Minister of FCT, who was ably represented. Sir, God bless you. We thank our royal fathers, the Emir of Zazzau, the Oba of Lagos, and the Emir of Wasi for blessing our event with your royal blessing. Thank you for coming all the way to be here with us. May the Lord take you back safely. What can I say about the lecture? I lack words to express our appreciation to our guest lecturer, Professor Abba Gambo. Within a very short time, you have given us a lecture that will be remembered for a very long time. You have proffered solutions to the issue of food security in our dear nation. Our prayer is that God will increase your knowledge. Thank you very much. We thank our Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, without whose permission and approval, this event wouldn't have been possible. So we thank you so much for your presence. We pray God to bless you. And we thank all our ministers, distinguished guests, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, Head of Agencies, parastatals, and former DGs of FRCN, and other guests. We appreciate your presence. To the awardees, especially our partners, thank you so much for your support over the years. We urge you to continue to partner with us as we continue to uplift the people and unite the nation. Many thanks to our DG, Dr. Mohammed Bulama, for your support, sir. So we are grateful that you did not spare anything to make this event glorious. We appreciate you. I just want to mention that last night, to make sure that everything goes well today, DG was in the office up until 10 p.m. Sir, thank you. I want to single out the Director General of the Nigeria Television Authority, NTA, for the so much publicity he has given to this event. For 7 good days, this event's jingle has been on the network service of the NTA. We cannot take this for granted. Sir, the DG of NTA, may God continue to bless you, bless your management, and bless your staff. And now they're still covering it live. They've been here since morning, covering it live. Thank you very much. We appreciate. And to the members of the planning committee, I want to appreciate you. You've worked so hard for this event to be successful. May the Lord bless you. And not forgetting all the directors of FRCN, the zonal directors, the directors of operations, deputy directors, management of different zonal stations, everybody. My dear colleagues, thank you for your support and for prayers. And God bless all the staff of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. God bless our listeners across the country. God bless the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I wish you all Merry Christmas and a blessed year 2025. Thank you very much.
On behalf of Mariam Sanjo, my co-MC, and my humble self, Yahya Omar, I say thank you again, and icing on the cake, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May we rise for the national anthem. Thank you. Is the DJ around?